Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again to Richmond, Virginia, and the restoration of the Virginia Governor's Mansion. We're going to be spending a fair amount of time inside with restoration architect John Paul Hanbury, who's going to show us a wall that was recently removed and some secrets that were found. Also, we'll learn how the newly installed Dumbwaiter works. And Bob Ryley will have progress reports on the second floor and the north addition with construction manager Sam Daniel. Stick around. It's great to have you home again.
Sears presents Bob Vila's Home Again.
All right, Peter Dolan is here from the Atlas Elevator Company in Chicago.
How you doing, Bob?
And Chuck Bailey is with the Richmond Elevator Company.
Virginia Elevator,
Virginia,
Bob.
Sorry about
That's
that. And you guys are the installers. And this is the brand new dumbwaiter. There used to be a couple of dumbwaiters
Right,
here, right?
Bob. There's two small ones here that were tore out.
Now, a dumbwaiter is not a new invention. They've been around for at least a century. I remember pulling one out of a 19th century townhouse years ago. How often do you find them in residential applications?
More and more over the last couple of years. We're putting in quite a bit.
This, of course, is the Governor's Mansion, and there's lots of state dinners that happen here, so it's a different kind of situation. Now, what's the size of the actual carrier, the box, if you will?
The box itself is you have a platform that's 3 foot by 3 foot, and the actual height is 4 foot high.
Now, Chuck, is there a code that...
Yeah, 9 square feet, Bob. 500-pound capacity. So, yeah, code.
So, and it opens all the way down to floor level, so the whole concept here is to use carts to roll in and out with serving
cart
carts.
to bring the food in and out, and to bring the dishes back to the kitchen.
Okay. And then at the top, as we were seeing a minute ago, is where the motor is located?
Right, that's the where the control equipment is, and the machine that runs the equipment is all located above the dumbwaiter.
And what size motor do you have?
That's a 2 horsepower motor.
2 horsepower. And does code require masonry enclosures like this all around the country?
They actually just require a 2.5 hour fighter rated hoistway, or what's applicable in the particular state or city.
Because here, essentially, we've got like a chimney that you've built.
Correct.
And you want to make sure if there should be a kitchen fire that the fire can't travel up.
That's correct. That's why these doors are also constructed with United Laboratories B label for an 1.5 hour fire rating. So it'll take an 1.5 hour for fire to burn through the first, an 1.5 hour to burn through the second.
Yeah.
Keep the fire from spreading.
Now, Chuck, I know your company has installed dumbwaiters and elevators right here in the capital of Virginia. Is there any criteria as to why it was located in this particular spot here at the mansion?
Well, part of what Virginia Elevator, we get the tough jobs, the jobs that are a little unique, and you can see we have an open space here. The stairway is going to be put back in here, typical, like the original stairwell.
Right, this is the original location for a staircase that leads from the kitchen up to the dining room.
Right, so we had some space considerations and some scheduling considerations. So we worked with the architect to position it where it is, and with Atlas to get it here.
Okay, and Peter, what's the cost of this equipment if someone's just ordering it? Never mind the installation, I'll ask him that in a minute.
Okay, the unit itself, this particular unit's about $11,000 or $12,000 for the running dumbwaiter.
Okay, and once you have to install it, how much more do you add to it?
I would say about $7,000 to $8,000 for installation.
So it's close to $20,000. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. John Paul Hanbury is the project architect, and let's check in with him.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Last time I looked here, this used to be a display cabinet for silver.
That's right.
And what's happened?
Well, that's been pulled out, obviously. We knew that there were doors here, but we didn't expect to find the original fabric intact, concealed behind the case and concealed behind the blind wall on the other side.
So this is the original
All
1813
original,
panel.
the jambs all paneled and original.
Yeah.
You can see here that we're putting in the sprinkler system, which is a sort of orange piping.
This pipe.
Yes. The other
What's
pipe
this?
is from a previous administration.
Old hot air duct, I imagine.
Probably, and as you can see, there was no regard for the structural integrity of the building.
No, they just chopped everything out of their way.
Chopped it out, and so now we're putting formwork in to pour concrete around all of this to give the stability back to the wall.
That will give it integrity.
Yeah.
And then you've done a lot of patching where other
Yes,
stuff has
we
happened.
have. Of course, another thing that was interesting to find is that we found the original ghost of the stairway. The stairway there was originally on this side.
Now, a ghost in architectural history terms means any sign or evidence of a previous installation. So
Exactly.
this indicates that the staircase was on this side.
On this side, and further indication of that is this narrow passageway, which meant the service stair came on behind. And interestingly, when we took this out, took the flooring out, we realized that an original wainscot board that was from 1813 had been used as subfloor.
So that was recycled.
Well, we need some paneling for the other room, so we took that board out and we're going to rework it.
And there it is right here.
Yes.
This is a single board, probably 24 inches across.
A little wider than that, actually.
Yeah, native Virginia pine. It's seen a lot of wear. How are you going to use it?
Well, we need dado paneling where plywood was applied probably in the 50s.
Oh.
And so we're going to put it back here.
So we're reusing material that's original to the house in another location.
Exactly.
Now, what did they do here?
Well, they ruined a good room. They inherited the battleship Silver, and they needed deeper cabinets.
To
and
display it.
And they probably wanted to get some more wall space in this room.
On this room so that they could hang pictures or
Yeah,
whatever.
and so they just furred the whole wall out about 3 inches.
Yeah. And at the top over here, you can see the original cornice.
Yes, the original cornice is there, and the later cornice will just cut back to the original profile. But also you can see here the sprinkler head has been introduced down below.
Those holes there, yeah.
And the one above is to put a air sampling device, which means that we can eliminate smoke detectors in every room by using this unobtrusive means to do that.
In each room, you have one of these that takes an air sample at all times so that if there is
Back to
smoke in the
center
room,
monitoring.
isn't that incredible? So that technology, the new technology is being mixed with the restoration of the
Absolutely.
room. And of course, the over-door treatment exists here, so we can just copy it, right?
Exactly. We thought we were going to have to replicate all this mill work, whereas we just have to replicate the
And
cornice.
what about the doors? Were they in there
The
too?
doors were original, and then the process of being wood grained as we speak.
Fabulous. What's this thing?
Well, that's a bidet that was found in the attic, coincidentally by the plumber, which I thought was...
by the plumber, really?
By the plumber.
So this is early plumbing from the early 1800s. It probably
and
would have
at-
had a basin here made out of metal or porcelain.
And after they'd moved everything out of the attic, it was just found hidden in an obscure place.
Fabulous stories. Thanks, John Paul.
Thanks
Good
a
to
lot.
see you.
Thank you.
Next, Bob Ryley has a progress report on the second floor with construction manager Sam Daniel.
So I'm up here on the residence level with Sam Daniel, the construction manager of the project, and we're in the governor's bedroom now. Can you tell us what's going on in here, Sam?
Yes, this is going to be the governor's bedroom and the reconfiguration of the residence level, and we've gotten the subfloor installed here. We've had to install all the sprinkler piping for the first floor below it and run ductwork in the ceiling and things of that type. So we did all the rough in from up above and then put the subfloor down.
Down then you've got most of all, it looks like all the framing is done, all the petitioning is all
Yes.
in place. Looks like
Yes,
we've
this
got-
room is the closet space for the First Lady. At the end over here is a passageway that leads from a hallway where the handicap elevator is. It brings you into this space.
So that'll access you right into the
Come
bedroom.
right in this way. On the
Okay.
other side of this partition right here is another bedroom. It would
Right.
either be a child's room or should the family have guests, it would be their room.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of it is the 1950 addition to the mansion. That was a very nice walnut paneled library. And that room has stayed virtually unchanged except for updating the systems.
Very nice. The First Lady's closet is over here, and the governor's closet is...
Well, you know, with the busy schedules of two working public officials, the First Lady is a professor at a college, and of course the governor with all of his duties.
Sure.
They each have their own dressing areas and closet space. And here we have the closet space for the First Lady. And her wardrobe type units are on this side. And then when you pass through here, and look at how thick these walls are,
Yes, yeah.
you come into more closet space, and
So this
then
is still the closet.
yeah, more closet over here, and then this is a dressing space.
Right. Well,
Then pass through this room, and this is the First Lady's bathroom.
okay, and everything that goes from here through to the bedroom has got to go through this brick wall, so it's all got to get jackhammered, and this is the HVC ducting that's going through up here.
Yes, in order to install the ductwork, the pipe, or whatever in the wall, we've had to cut these thick masonry walls to allow these improvements to be fit into the walls.
Well, yeah, they are thick.
Then they have to be patched very carefully afterwards to ensure the structural integrity of the building.
Right, right, okay, and so it looks like they've already roughed in the plumbing.
Yes, the plumbing
Over
rough-in
here.
is basically complete.
Yeah, and so, well, I'll tell you, this has really changed an awful lot since Bob came through here and they were doing all that demolition earlier.
That's right.
Really opened up quite a bit. And it looks as though they haven't finished the subfloor. This is still open over here.
Yes, we're still open over here on this side, and you can see what has happened here with the floor system.
Yeah. What is that? I mean, we've got, looks like these are the old beams here, which are really irregular in size, and then you've sistered up next to them. What's that about?
The ceiling joists are bowed both in this direction,
Yeah.
and they have different thicknesses of floor that you've had to make up the difference for over the years. And then we have leveled the floor by attaching these 2x members to the side. This is called sistering.
Right.
And it's both strengthening the floor and it's making it level.
At the same time, that allows you to get these bigger HVC ducts in between the joists.
Yes, we've had to design the HVAC system to fit in between the floor joist, and that's in both directions, both the width and the depth. There's a good example of that over here on this side.
Oh, let's go see that.
Over here you see a duct that has
this
been
is-
made wider,
Right, it's a totally
but yet
different size.
shallower,
Right.
so that it would fit into the space where it has to go.
Okay.
And then this will be concealed with the wall. And again, the thing to think about here is the CFM of air. It's not the size.
the
It's
volume that's
the
going
volume
through
of
there.
air. Yes, that the CFM is cubic feet per minute.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I know John is over here getting ready to do some framing.
Yes,
on
he's
some
framing.
walls. Okay, let's go take a look at that.
All right. On a job like this, the framing winds up having to go at a number of stages.
Right.
First stage, we have to get the top plate put in, which is what they're doing now.
That's, but you can't build the walls on the ground and throw them up because of all
No.
of the unevenness of the joists and
Not-
the ceiling above.
Not in a situation like this. There's so much unevenness. The building's not plumb. The ceiling joists go like this, and so you have to put the top plate on first.
Okay, so everything is going to be stick built.
Yeah, stick
Which means
built.
every single stud will be measured individually after the plates go in.
That's right.
Okay, so now we're going to double up on that top plate.
Yeah, we're putting in the second member of the two-part plate. The next step here is to plumb down from the top plate so that you can position the exact location of the first framing stud.
Right. So he's going to transcribe that spot up to the top plate.
That's right. And then from that point on, they will lay out the next studs from the first one
Okay.
at even spacing.
Well, okay. Well, that's not a tool you see a lot these days, the old plumb bob.
No, and so much of the world today is framing up walls and standing them up after they're built, and they don't have to do this type of work.
You don't have to deal with these uneven walls and ceilings.
That's right. That's right. It's just another part of this old mansion.
139.8.
So once that's in place, they're just going to toenail it in, top and bottom.
Top and bottom. Okay, now we're ready for the third step. That is to individually measure each of the studs that go into this wall. They'll be cut one by one and nailed into place because each one may have a slightly different measurement.
Right, okay, and then they're just going to go right down the wall and finish it out.
They go right down the wall and finish.
So it looks like all the walls they're putting together up here are 2x6s.
Yes, they're all 2x6 construction. There's a number of reasons for that. One is the height of the wall. You need the extra stability in order to have a good, strong wall.
Right.
Also, with everything we're putting in these walls, conduits, electrical, plumbing, and so forth, it needed to be thicker. And then we're also putting sound attenuation blankets
Oh, really?
in the
Okay.
walls to soundproof the area.
Right, okay.
And now we're ready for the last stage of framing this wall, and that is to install the blocking.
Right, and it's really important when you do wall blocking that the blocking is flush with the studs. You want to place the blocks in the center of the stud. That's about 6 feet off the floor on this wall. Because this is a 16-inch layout, all of our blocks are cut at 14.5 inches, the same size, and that just makes everything go that much faster.
Yes, that's right. And the way this crew is moving, we're going to be finished on this floor by the end of the day.
Yeah, going quick.
Coming up, Bob Ryley and Sam Daniel continue their progress report with the North Edition, so stick around.
Well, Ryley, here we are over at the North Addition, and what we're doing now on this part of the work is
Yeah.
we're constructing the CMU enclosure for the North Addition. CMU stands for Concrete Masonry Units.
Okay, yeah. And so this is going to hold the handicapped elevator.
Right,
correct?
the handicap elevator is in this. This is the service entrance for the facility, and it also have the handicap restroom up on the next floor.
Okay, now I want to ask you, Sam, I'm coming in here looking at this here. This is something I'm not really familiar with. What is that?
What we have here is lead-coated copper flashing. It's tied into the CMU, and then it goes down and it will turn out under a brick that's in the brick veneer, and then
Okay.
the last bit is where the water that might get in the wall would drip out of the wall.
So you'll see this in the finished.
You'll see that in the finished product, and the whole purpose of this is to channel any water that might get inside the wall out of the wall.
Okay, so I presume you've got drains under there to catch that water?
Yes, there's a full system of footing drains underneath. And in fact, you can see a little bit of what it's going to be tying into right back here.
Okay.
We've started digging for the footing drain for the main building, and you're actually going to have two drains in there. One is a footing drain at the elevation of the footing.
Yep.
The other is a higher drain where we're piping up the roof drain system. So that'll take all of the water away from the building foundation, so none will get inside the building.
So you've got a drain for the surface water and a drain for the roof water.
That's correct.
Great, great. Okay, now these I get these white things all over the ground here. What are these?
This
for?
is insulation. It comes already installed in the block so that you don't then have to have a separate operation to put it in. You see some of these pieces laying around, and that is because part of the reinforcing system requires that the block be threaded over a piece of vertical rebar, and
Okay.
then that core of the CMU is filled with a pea gravel concrete for stability of the wall.
Okay.
This is another feature in the stability of the wall. We have every two courses, as you can see here, this horizontal reinforcing. This
Okay.
comes in an 8-foot length, and so
Okay.
it will span a long distance.
Right.
And after you put this in the wall, we then come back and install the brick veneer, and in doing so, you put a hook tie over this, and then that hook tie ties into
them
the brick
together.
veneer, and it ties the brick and the CMU together.
So they don't be falling apart.
They'll stay there from now on.
I'll tell you what I like is when I came in here, I saw that they've got wire ties holding this staging into the wall as well, so the workers up there, when they're concentrating on their work, don't have to worry about the staging falling away from the
Yes, sir,
building.
that's correct. We believe in operating a safe site, and scaffold safety is just one of the many features. In fact, we couldn't even be under here right now if the brick masons weren't on lunch break, because something might fall on us.
Yeah, that's good. Can we take a look inside?
Sure, let's see what's in here.
Okay. Wow, this is quite a well you've created here, Sam.
Yeah, this is the elevator pit. What we have here is a basement-mounted traction machine.
Yeah.
And the reason for this type of elevator in this building is that most elevators require a lot of over-the-top floor head height.
Okay.
And because of the historic nature of the building and the established lines, the roof lines with the other side, we could not have all that construction on top. So thereby we had to have all of the equipment and the traction mounted equipment underneath the elevator. And that's
Okay.
what this pit is all about. The
Yeah.
actual equipment that will pull the elevator up is going to be mounted on this large block of concrete.
Yeah.
And you see these anchor bolts here, that's where the unit will be attached.
Okay, well, you know, I think I hear the workers coming back from lunch, so maybe we should get out of here.
Yeah, it's about time for them to come back, and I'm sure they want to go to work.
We'll be back in a moment with a preview of our next show, so don't go away. And that's a wrap. Come home again next time. We'll be taking a look at how we're removing all the paint from the brick facade on the building and the woodwork. Also, Shirley Plantation, the oldest working plantation in the nation. And Riley will be here to help put together some of the historic woodworking in the downstairs rooms. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again. For lots of information and resources for your home improvement project, check out my website at bobvila.com.